What is up, beautiful people? Today, I am very excited to have you here at the Successful Entrepreneur podcast. And I'm very excited because we have Claudine Langlois on the podcast. Some entrepreneurs build businesses, but Claudine, she builds movements, right? She is the powerhouse behind six wellness companies, and her work is driven by one conviction. And she says, I don't want anyone to suffer as I have. A brain tumor, assault, and three near death experiences, and a broken neck could have broken her, but instead they fueled her mission. Through ventures like Doshayoga, REVIBE, Yoniva, plus her transformational festival, Anathafest, which since 2019 has been bringing in many, many thousands of healing experiences for people, and her comedic documentary series, Seekers, Claudine turns her personal pain into collective healing. Thank you so much for being on the show, Claudine.
Hey, thank you so much. You're good at that. I feel like
Uh,
it's a marketing publicity in life.
I love it. Yeah, it's an honor to have you on. I think it's oftentimes it's not until you get on a podcast where you really realize, yeah, this is all the shit I have done. I can't believe it. You know,
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
if
Because
you
you don't
really think,
stop.
yeah, if you really think back of like all the stuff we did,
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah, that's
So
insane.
yeah, let's dive into your story. So, you've been described as someone who builds movements and not just businesses. So, what does that distinction mean to you personally?
Yeah, well, okay. I'll tell you a story that someone told to me a couple years ago. He was a comedian. And it was like, there's two kind of comedian. There's the one that are like a star. They are in the sky, they are a star, and they are there. And there's some that are a shooting star. And I was like, okay, go ahead. You say, well, a shooting star, when you see it, it's bright, you feel so high, but it's temporary. But a star will be last forever, and you bring one more light in the dark sky. You say, what mission you want to be on? You want to be a shooting star? Do you want to be the famous up there, have all the fame? Or you want to build movement? You want to build something that you're more in the background, but you are building something that is for the future generation. And I was like, the choice was simple. I want to build for the planet. I don't want to be the one on the stage that have all the light on me. Like, it's fun. Don't get me wrong, it's fun, and I get yeah, I got many occasions to be on the light with the TV show but it's temporary. And yeah, I think we are at a critical moment of the planet right now, and for us to build something that is bigger than us that will help the planet, yeah, I think that's my mission is.
I love that. Yeah, and I think it's a perspective that is, I don't know if I want to put the label European or American, or I don't want to put a country label to it, but I think in America, I think things tend to get a little materialistic and short-term thinking because you literally don't have time to think long-term all the time because you're like, oh my God, here and here and here, and you got to make sure you have whatever income and this and that, because life is very fast in the United States, in North America especially. So I appreciate you bringing that energy over here and anchoring that for all of us because I feel that is where true sustainable change and transformation happen, right?
Mhm.
So tell us a little bit about your ventures, and you've been running up to six wellness companies at the same time: Dosha Yoga, Revive, Anathafest, the upcoming Yoniva. So my coaching universe, like you have so many different ventures that you started. Like, how do you maintain your soul and purpose in each venture while growing and nurturing each of these?
Yeah, well, it's simple because all the business have the same mission. So it's the same kind of change. So the mission is the same. It's just the way of doing it is different. There's many way to go to Rome. You can go in bicycle, you can go in car, you can go in plane. It's exactly how I see my business, but the destination is the same. the movement, the change is the same. Some will get into it because of a TV show. They're gonna see it, they're gonna feel a transformation, something more deep than what they are used to listen after their big day. So that will be the way. Some will go to a retreat, will try a program, and they're gonna feel a transformation, and that's the way. Some will try a product, a feminine care line, and they're gonna feel the transformation. So I don't believe in one path fit all, but I believe if we open many paths, people will recognize in one of them. And the more we open the path, the more people can access to the transformation, to the change that we want to build on the planet.
Yeah, I love that. I think it's so true because when you look at how everybody learns, right? There's different learners. Like some are auditory, some are visual, some are just if you have more touch points for people to experience that transformation and your mission, then of
Yeah.
course you're going to be able to transform more people, right? So I think it's so well said, and I think it's something that's making you internally it's much more easier for you to lead all six companies or seven. I mean, in the future, who knows what comes, right? But like, because you have this internal alignment, it's so easy. Like a tree is just a different branch
Mm.
of things that you share and how you transform people.
Yeah.
So
And
tell
you're in
me,
marketing, so you understand that all the companies build the same. You need, okay, like the messaging, the target market, okay, the funnel of acquisition, the funnel of nurturing, the funnel of, so all of this, it's kind of the same thing that we do for different companies. So basically we have like one standard that we apply with different kind of name, different name, but they all bring the same kind of value.
I love that. And what is your core mission that kind of like combines all that's similar or same for all of these?
Yeah, I believe I go back to the roots, I live myself in a ranch, in a farm. I live into respecting the earth, respecting everything in the earth, and I'm really bringing people of into a path of embodiment, be more present, be more embodied, less stress, less movement, be more there present for what's important in your life, to have time of feeling the what it is to be human. So like I always say that my mission is about giving the people the right of freedom, because we are so into like safety, money, capitalist, and we never feel really free of time, free of money, free emotionally, free of our choice, which is the basic, the choice of your life. So I always say like to bring more freedom, but I think it's even more deeper, because bringing more freedom finally go challenge the old way of doing things, challenge the way the society is going that fast, challenge the burnout culture we are in, challenge the anxiety, the depression system that they create for us. So yes, there's a challenge about who create that, why we create that, is that a better way of feeling happiness, purpose, and meaning in life. And this is like the big void of human existence. When you see like the most successful, and I've been with the biggest entrepreneur, the biggest celebrity, and they all say the same thing. They feel this kind of void. Even if they have everything, they seem to have everything, they feel not complete, not enough. So it's always like to bring back into a place of embodiment where you feel enough, you feel meaningful, you feel your purpose. And I think just to make every human feel complete and happy, that's a huge mission, because it will create way more symbiosis between human, maybe less war, because we don't have competition and jealousy when we feel fulfilled.
Mm, so true.
Yeah.
I love it. All the wisdom, you're like dropping all the wisdom for people. It's like, yeah, it's really not that complicated. I think people overcomplicate life. It's like the checklist thing and the this and the that. But it's like, are you happy? Yes or no? No? Okay, go change something. Yes? Keep doing what you're doing. What's your
Exactly.
problem? You know?
Exactly. But we are overwhelmed with so many things and so many choices that it's hard to know if we are happy, because we are always been sell the new happiness. And it's crazy. We are in marketing. We know that we need to sell this happiness. We need to, yeah, create even a fear, a momentary fear to have a place to sell the new happiness thing. It's a capitalist world we are in. But until what we're going to spend for the next thing, until what we're going to be stuck in the rat race. And it's all decision we make, until we make a change.
Hmm. And what's something, if there's somebody out there that feel they're like in this pattern or on this kind of like train track, this railroad of like, yeah, I see these same pattern happening. It's like, yeah, just keep buying and keep earning more. It's like, like what would you recommend a person like that to do differently, or how can they create that awareness around that? How can they basically transform, like how to get out of the stuck situation?
Yeah. So basically, those people, they don't really see the action. So like in the selling, I will never say, oh, you buy too much. They will feel judged. The people, when they come in, it's because they have some symptom that they don't understand, like chronic fatigue, like hormonal imbalance kind of symptom, some weird thing, heartburn, or like there's a symptom that they cannot go away. And when we go deep in the symptom, that's where we find the real thing behind. And it's most of the time it's just a lack of purpose, a lack of happiness, a lack of meaning, and just don't know yourself as a human being. We are all different. We don't have one special miracle recipe that work for all of us. You have special need, and I have special need. And it's so funny to say that we all have special need in kind of a way, which is bad and pejorative in the yeah, in English. But that's the truth. We all have special need. And when we understand what my soul need, because we understand what my body need at one point, maybe you understand, oh, me, I need to eat that, I need to not eat that. We are in abundance of learning about the body with the biomarker, with the intolerance and allergy like test. You have an abundance to understand your body, okay? But your soul, who understand your soul? Because there's two things. You're not just a body, you're a soul in a body. Most of us, there's there's some critical about like some people, yeah, we won't go there, but most of us, we have a soul in the body. And the soul, you need to understand the need. And for that, to understand the need, we need to go back in the basic where you were not conditioned in your need. When the soul happened on earth, you know even if there's some trauma, because just birthing is a trauma, like you come out of this special vagina hole, which is black with full of light outside. It's a trauma. It's your first trauma you live in your life, in your physical life. And just that, some of them like still have it in their body. So to understand the soul, you need to go back under passing all the trauma and connect back with your soul need, because you keep repeating things that you don't like and creating trauma for your soul because you don't understand what your soul really need. So there's
Mm.
a decharge and recharge. Decharge all the stress, decharge all the trauma. Like we need to let go because it's inside the body. All the trauma, they are inside the body. And at the same time, reconnect with what your soul need. And this is hard to do because we don't have time. We need money, you know we need to live. We are in survival. Most of people are still in survival where they don't have water, they don't have food, they don't. So how can I do self-development when I don't have time? It's
Yeah.
insane.
Yes, very true. And how would someone find out what their soul needs?
Okay, so I have a special game and it's basic. It's more deeper than that, but that can be a first step for you. So I love to go back into different part of my life and understand what at this part of my life I truly enjoy, what I adore, what I love so much, and what I hate at this part of my life. And behind all of that, there's a need that is hidden. For example, I ate when my parents was angry about me. Okay, so my need, maybe it's harmony, maybe my need is connection, maybe my need is like there's many need that can appear, and one thing for me it's harmony, but for you maybe it's connection. But when you do all the thing that you love and one all the thing that you hate, it come back, and you have a clarity about what you really need. Because you will say, okay, what is the need behind I love chasing butterfly when I was young, because I'm at this time of my life I love chasing butterfly. Oh, I like running. Oh, okay, so maybe I like movement, maybe I like freedom, maybe. So there's between all the action that you love and you hate, there's a soul crying to fulfill her need.
Hmm. Yeah, I love that. And like I feel like our body, and which is the vessel that holds our soul. It's like it's such an intelligent expression of that, right? The body's constantly trying to like heal itself and really even like accidents don't happen on just by accident,
Yeah.
right? They're not random. Like there's a reason, for example, you fall on your elbow or your knee. Is it the right or the left side? Like there's so many ways to like also interpret what and how that happens to you, because your body's constantly trying to heal and constantly trying. It's like we're like a what's a good word, like a purifier. It's constantly trying to heal. It's like trying to like, how can I best in this lifetime just like you know process and evolve my own soul and energy. So it's very interesting, like talking about these somatic topics. I love it.
You have a point there, because everybody is like, why it's my left elbow? You have a car accident and it's dramatic and all your body can be hurt, but it's only your left elbow. Why that? And it's always in the theory of what is life, what is death, and how can we, what is the guna, we call this guna, what is the characteristic of the life and the death. And a dead body is cold, is dry. There's thing that we can categorize a dead body. And a live body is supposed to be warm, is supposed to be flexible. It's not dry, you have like water inside your body. So if you hurt yourself at one point, it's like a tree, a branch of tree. When you crack, how can how can you crack a branch? When it's alive, you cannot crack the branch. It's alive.
Mm,
So the body, when it crack, it's because it's about to be dead, in a dramatic kind of way to say it. But that's a part of your body that don't have the energetic flow, you know. Believe it or not, we are 90%, 99% of energy. And the day you're gonna understand that, there's gonna be big shift in your life. And 1% is your body, the matter. So your body is just a reflection of what is in your energetic. In energetic, you have many things in that, and the soul is part of it.
yeah, yeah, I love that. It's such a great analogy with the dry branch and the live branch. I think that's so great. It's basically like a spot in your body that has been neglected. Like you haven't given it the nutrients, the water that it just
Yeah.
can't get to it anymore. So it's a great example. I love that. Um, I want to switch gears a little bit and talk about your Seeker documentary series. So why did you like choose that? And like this is a whole thing. Maybe explain a little bit before what it is so people know and listeners are aware. But yeah, why that?
Yeah. Well, when we start Seeker, we had a whole story about we were all I achiever person, but never fulfilled. The trap of the society. We had everything, but never feel happiness, never feel purpose, and that's why we've been seeking to find the truth. How other people, other culture, other part of the world, they make sense in their life. How can they be happy? How can they be fulfilled? So that was the try to fulfill a big void of human existence. And when we started, we were like, okay, let's go in the deeper, in back to the root, the first continent country that we have there. Let's go back in India, because maybe India have the source of the soul. Maybe we can find back a reason of living. So we just immerse ourselves in so many kind of activity that people make sense over there. So people make sense of their life existence through wedding. That's a big thing in India. Like they find a part of existence through wedding, and after through philanthropic, to cultural tradition, through everything, meditation, yoga. It come from India. So we just immerse ourselves to try to understand how people can feel happiness. So Seekers was a calling to seek for the truth under all the secret, under all the lie we've been told, what is the truth? So that was the first season, and it came along. We never thought it was going for TV. We did it for YouTube. Basically, I was with one of the biggest YouTuber of Quebec, Lucy, and we just lived an insane experience in Bali, where it was our first time that we were invited to a canalization. And canalization, if you don't know what it is, it's kind of crazy. The soul get out of the body to let enter another soul that give wisdom about life. So we were there, and she was knowing us better than ourselves. We never met this person, and she was just telling us so many truth about our existence and about all the symptoms we had in our body. And after that, we were like, there's so many things like this that people don't know about. So let's put that at the TV so everybody can know those things. And even if they just live through the character, it's fine. But maybe it's gonna create a seed for them to live this for themselves. But in either way, the transformation is there.
Yeah. It's so powerful, like just to even just the fact that you exposing someone to something that they didn't even know existed before,
Mm,
like canalization or mediumship or channeling. Like all these kinds of things are just like, if people start to know about these things, I think, people can learn and appreciate and upgrade and up level. So, let me ask you, what have you learned about reaching people through that documentary versus, for example, doing wellness content for your skincare brand? Like, what's something that you've learned?
well, it's two different things, because during Seekers, I have to immerse myself. So I'm one of the human very vulnerable that learn about myself in the TV show. When, like, the skincare, it's different. Yes, for sure, I tell the story behind the brand, why we create this brand, because there's a purpose of this brand. But I have kind of control of the narrative, and in Seekers, I don't have control of the narrative.
Mhm.
Anything can happen. So it's kind of two different way of creating the message, and that's what we want with Seeker. We want that they see those famous people that they know, and we put them into adventure, immerse themselves. And at first they just want to look because they want to know what happened into the elitist famous people. And when they see that they are so human, so vulnerable, they connect to the character. They feel the connection. It's not only this famous superstar, it's someone, it's like me. So that was the goal. And I had like two superstar of Quebec, let's say it this way, Lucy and Jessie, that helped me with this project. And yeah, I think that was a success of doing Seekers. Was the channel of the TV the best one in for the new generation? The reality is we reach older people that still have TV channel, but the new generation, they don't are really on TV. So we've been learning a lot about doing this TV show, and that's why right now we are planning Seekers the Return. So we gonna apply what we learned.
Very cool. Yeah, it's interesting also, like from a marketing perspective, to like it's the freaking same thing, but you just didn't get to the right people. It's like just the choice of a channel, the difference it makes sometimes is so crazy. Even like for skincare, are you on Amazon? Are you on TikTok? Are you just Shopify, direct to consumer? It's like so interesting, like how, yeah, different people, different platforms. Of course, makes sense. So how do you balance? Um, Actually, no. Let me ask you another question. How do you, let's say, what's the biggest, I think, misconception spiritual entrepreneurs have about building a sustainable business? Like, let's move a little bit into like business advice and other people who are like, like us who have a passion, who like want to get started on this path. Like, what do you think is the biggest misconception about spiritual entrepreneurs like ourselves?
Okay, so I can go in many ways to answer this question. And yeah, for example, an entrepreneur is an entrepreneur. Okay, even if we are spiritual, we are conscious. An entrepreneur, some people think that spiritual entrepreneur they should just be calm, meditate, attract. The reality, it's nothing is built without working. You want a six pack, you need some work out there, you need some focus. So the reality is an entrepreneur is an entrepreneur in, like, I'm sure you have phase where you work a lot, Chris. We all work a lot, and that was the thing that I need to explain. But the reality is I know my imbalance. So that's what made me a spiritual and entrepreneur. It's I have to apply my practice in my lifestyle. So it's not dissociate, I cannot do my morning yoga and after go work. The reality, it's my yoga, it's my everyday life, it's my connection with people. It's all I apply all those rules of yoga in my everyday life. Am I harming other? Am I all those rule of yoga that we learn in our yoga practice or meditation practice, whatever, it's the same kind of rule. We need to apply it in our everyday life. We cannot dissociate the practice of in the entrepreneur. Being a spiritual entrepreneur is living the spirituality into everything you do. So
Hmm.
I think that's the misconception that people have about a spiritual entrepreneur. They think that we have so many free time that we can just meditate and I don't know, like they dissociate the practice of the human being. Being spiritual is not a practice, is a everyday life. It's the way that we have resilience. It's the way that we have compassion. In a business, everybody is shark. But are we still human being in this business? This is what a spiritual entrepreneur is. We are there to uplift each other even if it's hard. So
Yeah,
yeah, I
I
think
think it's that alignment of like we're so fully embodied as a human being or as a spirit in a body or soul in a body, right? We not only are making money on this side and doing yoga on that side. No, it's more like
mm,
everything's together, right?
yeah.
And so everything feels more authentic, holistic, aligned, So it's exactly what you said.
And exactly like how I'm making my money. Am I making my money by stealing other? Am I making my money by harming, like hurting, violence? All this rule, the yama and niyama we call in yoga, but you have the same kind of rule in meditation, and which is rule of respect, non-violence, non-stealing, compassion. All this we apply it in our everyday life. Are we there to support? Even here when I can charge a lot to some customer, because my time value and I know my word and I know my word because r- you are super good in what you do, Chris, and you're very good in marketing, and I'm very good in helping people scale a business, step by step. And the reality is when I see someone that have nothing, I still give back my time for nothing for free. And that's the reality of it. It's I still have compassion even if I know my worth. So it's different.
Yeah. Yeah, you still care. You're human. I mean, if you see someone that can benefit from your energy in a way, right? Of course, not for like months and months, but if it's like a dinner conversation or this and that, it's like happy to help, happy to be of service, right? It's just, yeah. Um, Tell me when you're making like business decision, how much weight do you give to intuition versus data? And I think I know the answer, but you know.
Okay, let me hear your answer.
So the question I'm curious about is when you making business decision, how much weight do you give to intuition versus data and market research? And I think I know the answer. And Yeah, I think you were curious about my answer. So
Mm-hmm.
I think a person,
I am.
yeah. So I think a person who's quite balanced, right? Like I'm an entrepreneur, I'm also spiritual, I trust my intuition, but I also trust data. Their decision or their like weight and balance would be 50-50, right? But if I'm a little bit more like, I want to trust my intuition more than I rely on data, especially like when you start something that comes from your heart, data really is not that important. So it'd be like, I don't know, 70-30, right? How do you see that?
Yeah. So I would say 50-50 is my ratio, you know? It's trust but verify. And why it's that? Sadly, I got screwed a lot of time in business, and people that, yeah, I feel so connect with, you know, and trusting my intuition and blah blah blah. But the reality, it's people when they are in survival, they can do what they have to do in survival. And I don't blame anyone, I just learned from myself. But that made me learn of trust but verify, you know. Find the
Mm,
data, find all the thing you need. You can follow your intuition a little bit, but the reality, it's when there's attachment, the intuition is not there anymore, you know. When you're attached to a project, when you're attached to a person, the intuition is blur, you know. So if only intuition was working, I think the first intuition is the one that you need to listen, you know. When you have a new project, of a new partnership or whatever, and you just don't feel it and you don't understand, don't do it, you know. So a little bit like us, like, uh, Chris, I was so attracted by working with you since the beginning. It's an intuition. There's no, that was not rational, you know. I was just, I want my first English podcast to be with Chris. I don't know why, you know. So I trust that because I don't know you. But as soon as we have a relation together, my intuition is blurred because of attachment. And this is what I learned
mm.
from a business perspective, is you're attached to your project, you're attached to your business, you're attached to the people in your business, and that make you make non-rational, non-database decision. And when there's attachment, that's where you need to come back to the data and make sure
Yeah.
decision is the right one. And that's sad to say, but I'm really happy to have learned it the hard way, because maybe I will never have learned. And now I learn it very hard. So I'm so happy to have passed through that.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's exactly that, right? Like follow your intuition, but definitely use the data to verify, right? Like it's say if let's say for example, ooh, I want to start a matcha brand, but you know what? Everybody's doing
Yeah.
matcha already. Let me do blue matcha because that's like a new thing or that's something that's coming or something like that, right? Yeah, you can do that, but if there's only like 1,000 uh, keyword searches every month for blue matcha, it's not a big market, you know. So I think it's exactly what you say. Like follow your intuition, but do verify with data. Yeah,
Exactly.
beautiful. So let me ask you, with everything you manage, like what does your spiritual practice look like? Like, do you have maybe some tips for routines, or what does your routine look like? Maybe a little glance on your personal, daily life would be fun.
Yeah. So as you probably get it, I don't have like a rigid routine. It's my routine is more about listening, listening to what's there. So some morning I wake up and I'm like, hey, you know what, I need to meditate. Some morning I'm like, hey, I need to do movement. But the reality, it's to listen. And some morning I'm just listening, and there's emergency in the business and I need to focus on that, and after I have time. But the reality, it's listening is my biggest practice, and really eat super super clean and healthy. That's the basic thing you can do as an entrepreneur. You need good water, you need like the most clean food that you can get, even if you don't like we never know what they put in our food. That's the reality. But I think if you want your gut health, so your mind health at the same time, you need very clean food. And for sure, like I do supplement in the morning, more like K2, D vitamin, ashwagandha, those basic that I like, just to sustain the energy, because I do a lot of computer, unfortunately, in a day, which is very hard. Like the human was not made to be sitting and be in front
Oh
of a.
my god.
No, 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 no. So you have to have like to force yourself, even because I'm ADHD. So when I start the computer, there's so much in it. Like, one, I want to finish the project, I want to get to the end. Second, there's so much stimulation that it's hard, like you're addict, and the outside life kind of feel boring, because there's so much thing happening on your computer. And when you understand that for all the ADHD entrepreneur, that it's the trap of it, but you're never gonna feel fully happy. And ADHD, they don't have the same level of dopamine, so screen have a lot of dopamine, so we kind of balance ourselves with that. But the reality, it's the real um regenerating thing. It's to go outside in nature. And I break myself of just stepping outside. I live in a ranch, I have full of nature outside that just can clean me. And I force myself, even if I'm in my ADHD brain, just to regenerate for real, because that's not the computer that will regenerate me. So whenever in between meeting I can have a break, I like to go outside, move my body, connect back to my body, just to not forget that I'm a body too.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. It's so true that we weren't made for all this computer and electronic interfacing. It's gonna be very interesting, like with AI coming and maybe helping us in a way to just like make things easier. Because like, do we really need to sit here and write the script for a thing? Just like, can I just tell you and you write it for me and then I speak it? You know what I mean? Like, it'd be so much. I think there's so much coming that's gonna make it easier for us too. Um, and on the flip side, also, like, I see a lot of like people leaning fully into AI right now. And you just see, it's just like there's going to be so many creations that are purely AI, right? Yes, there's a human saying, make this, but not with a lot of intention, right? Just, yeah, you can make something good with AI, but like, again, you can, like, the creation balance is going to be tipped soon, where there's more AI content than human content out there. And it's going to be very interesting. And I, for myself, I feel really drawn to, like, I have a tea brand that is something I feel very connected to, like tea itself, and that also being something organic. So it's very interesting how like so many people are starting to like fully, especially in entrepreneurship, like fully leaning into AI because it's very powerful, and I see myself, kind of like in the middle, and also like more leaning into organic, like tea, nature, herbs. Like, don't forget the source. Like, I feel like we're gonna need that. There's gonna be like, in 10 years, there's gonna be people lying in a chair like this with freaking synapses connected to their brain. They don't move all day. They're just sitting in a chair. They're playing a VR game that is much more interesting than life. It's gonna be, oh, I'm a little bit like, wow, it's gonna, and people are like, yeah, no, this, I like the chair better than my life. Trust me. I don't. What do I want outside? I see a tree. I can see a tree. Like, I can feel the tree. It's gonna be
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah, it's
It's
gonna be
gonna be crazy.
crazy, and we planned that since a long time. TV show, they just show us what's coming. Black Mirror was saying us what's coming in a dramatic manner, but the reality is, when you see through it, you can make choice out of it. And AI, it's a beautiful magic tool. It's a gift, because why? It gives you back time, and time is the only value in life. You don't just get a little time in your life. So it's magic if you use it the right way. But as I love to say, and this comes from Saviji, an inspiration for me, she say, take a fire can be either hurting or healing. A fire can burn a house. It's dramatic. It can like what happened in Malibu, it can destroy everything, but a fire also can help you cook, can help you warm yourself when you're cold. So it's always how I'm going to use this tool, because all the tool on earth can be destructive, even like I have a straw here, I can destroy people, like I can put the straw in the in bad place, all the tool that we have been giving on earth in the material world can be destroying in some kind of a way, depend of how you use it. And AI is the same, technology is the same. Technology can create worldwide connection, can free you time, that's insane. So you have more time to go outside, connect with the people in the real life, because we are not stuck behind the screen of making the next content for the next month. We can be outside and really create real connection. And but depend of how you use it. The why technology and AI was created, I hope it was for us to create something beautiful out of it.
Yeah, yeah, we will. I feel like humanity's mature enough to actually leverage it in a positive way. I mean, again, like you said, it's a tool. Like it can be used by negative and positive. But I feel like the collective consciousness is like, and you see it in all facets of life, even like creators. Yeah, you can still sell a weight loss pill on TikTok Shop if you wanted to. That doesn't really work. You know what I mean? But like, even creators are like, well, I kind of do want to support a brand that actually do what they say it does. You know what I mean? Like, it's cool how the power is given back to people who are creating and who are the newer generation. You know,
Yeah,
so
they are smart. The newer generation, they are very smart and they learn faster than us. But the reality is, I've sometimes feel some we are very in our circle, and our circle is awakened, like hopefully for you and me. But there's so many people outside of this circle that doesn't have this insight, and that's the reality. And that's why, like, we need business of consciousness to bring more of those people into the awakened circle. And awakened, it's very pejorative, like the other one are sleeping, but we love to call it this way. So yeah,
yeah,
so
yeah. So let me. We're coming towards the end of the episode. I have a couple more questions, but I would love to hear of your vision. So looking ahead, what's the all the movements that you're building, like what does success look like for like the collective impact of all your brands? Like how would you say in the coming years, what defines success for you?
yeah, I think the success is exactly what we say. It's despite all the AI and technology, we have safe space where we can connect back to nature, to ourselves. So I think Revive, it's a huge plan out of it. With Revive, yes, we sell retreat where you have a connection, you connect back, you are in nature, you are traveling. So that's very huge. But also we are creating the first Revive Center, a place to regenerate faster for all the neurologic brain and all nervous resets. So those are really in my gaga for the next year. I want to create more of those kind of space, more of those kind of center, and go back to nature ranch. So that's really something. And with Yoniva, the feminine care, for sure I want to take care more of women. And why woman? I really believe the feminine energy is super nurturing. We've been made to be a mother. We've been made to caring, giving, loving. And the earth, the planet earth, is a feminine energy. And I believe that if we have more feminine energy out there, more listening, more compassion, caring, it's going to be better for all human and the planet as well. So for me to take a mission of taking more care of the woman and all the mom out there, it's really something that I really, really, really feel like a gift.
Yeah, beautiful. I love that. I really feel the same. Like I feel like the world needs more just like nurturing, feminine, loving, soothing energy.
We
Um,
need breathing, we need to be conscious of like the simple thing. Like some people, they don't even feel that they breathe in a day. We we take so many breathing and more than 12,000 in a day, and you're not even conscious of one. That's insane. So there's simple thing of listening, breathing, reset, connect. yeah, go back to nature, and that's the basic of human existence. It's so much fun to live on this earth, but we need to bring back what was fun, we've been lost.
Yeah, very true. So last question for spiritual entrepreneurs who are listening and who want to create their own business that truly serves them and humanity, what's your most important piece of advice, or just like one thing you want to leave the audience with?
Yeah, I'm like, find your purpose, find your meaning. And you came back from Japan, they have this concept of ikigai that a lot of people know, but if you don't know about it, take time, use your AI, talk about, make your ikigai together, find your purpose, find a way you can support the planet, because we are all there giving something. So you have a gift as well as an entrepreneur, and after, make a plan of action. You have this purpose, you have this gift, make a plan of action to achieve the purpose. Everybody can achieve the purpose. It's just like everybody can cook a recipe. You just need the right ingredient inside of it. So you need to go to the grocery with a clear list. That's the basic of entrepreneur. You need a purpose, a recipe you want to create, and you need the list to accomplish this recipe. And it's simple as it is. You need the plan.
Hmm, right. It's a perfect summary of the spiritual entrepreneur. Find your purpose, which is go within, right? And then make a plan, action, put it out, from within to without, as above, so below.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for being on this podcast. It's been such a special time. And let us know, where people can find you, to connect with you, to follow you. Yeah.
Yeah, I think we can put the link in bio, but I'm Claudine. You can find me through Yoniva, my business, Revibe, my festival, Anata, or the TV show Seekers. So I'm basically in one of them working behind, and I'm always, always welcome to connect with you. I love connecting with you, souls. So please just come and say hi if ever you're around one of this business. Thank you so much, Christian. You're such a good host. You have magic question. You have a good listening. It's so nice to talk with you. And yeah, I'm super glad to make my first English podcast. I was super shy, because my English was not perfect, but you make me feel super comfortable of sharing with you and your community. Thank you so much.
Hmm. It's my honor. Like the purpose of this podcast really is to get the right people out there, because there's so many beautiful people that just like, don't even just not know, like nobody knows them. There's so many cool people like us who just do such wonderful things. So it's been an honor, and yeah, you've done great, and you have so much wisdom. you know
Thank you. A lot of trauma to get this wisdom.
Hmm. Yeah,
Thank
thanks
you.
for sharing.
Thank you. Have a good day, guys. We love you.